professional conversations, social media, and everyday fair housing decisions. Fair housing extends beyond the transaction. Most fair housing violations do not begin with someone intentionally trying to discriminate. Instead, they often begin with an ordinary conversation, a casual comment, a joke, a social media post, an innocent question from a buyer. These situations happen every day, and how a real estate professional responds can make the difference between demonstrating professionalism and creating unnecessary fair housing risk. Questions about religious facilities. One question many buyers ask is whether there is a church, synagogue, mosque, temple, or other place of worship nearby. Is it appropriate to answer? Generally, yes. If a buyer simply wants to know the location of a religious facility because they attend services there or would like one within walking distance, providing factual information about the location of the facility is appropriate. The key is to answer the question objectively. However, the conversation changes if the buyer begins asking questions about the people who attend the facility, or expresses a desire to avoid living near members of a particular religion or faith. At that point, the discussion has shifted toward a protected class. A good response might be, "I'm happy to help you locate places of worship or other community facilities, but fair housing laws prohibit me from discussing neighborhoods based on the religion or other protected characteristics of the people who live there." That keeps the conversation focused on objective information while remaining compliant with fair housing laws. Professional conversations matter. One of the easiest mistakes licensees make is forgetting that they're still at work simply because they have developed a friendly relationship with a client. After spending several weekends touring homes together, conversations often become more relaxed. Buyers may ask about your family, your hobbies, your political opinions, your religious beliefs. Eventually, someone tells a joke. Perhaps it involves race, religion, nationality, disability, or another protected class. Although the joke may have been intended as harmless humor, participating in that conversation while acting as a real estate professional creates unnecessary risk. The safest approach is simple. Politely redirect the conversation. Keep your focus on the transaction. Professional boundaries protect both you and your client. A lesson learned the hard way. An Arizona broker once shared a story that illustrates this perfectly. An agent was showing homes to a husband and wife. While driving between properties, the husband began telling a joke involving a protected class. The agent laughed and even responded with another joke targeting a different protected class. Unfortunately, the wife belonged to the group mentioned in the second joke. The atmosphere inside the vehicle changed immediately. The buyers asked to return to their own vehicle and later contacted the broker to file a complaint. The agent insisted he started it. The broker's response was simple. "It doesn't matter who started it. You're the professional." Fortunately, the situation was resolved before escalating further, but it serves as an important reminder that professionalism extends far beyond contracts and negotiations. Social media never sleeps. The same professionalism applies online. Today's realtors communicate through Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, LinkedIn, YouTube, blogs, podcasts, and countless other platforms. A post made in just a few seconds can remain online forever. Many fair housing concerns arise not because agents create offensive content themselves, but because they like a post, share a meme, forward a video, retweet a comment on someone else's post. Even if the original content wasn't created by the licensee, publicly endorsing or distributing discriminatory material can damage both professional credibility and public trust. As realtors, we should remember that our online presence reflects our professionalism just as much as our behavior in the office. Managing your online presence. The Realtor Code of Ethics also reminds us that we have responsibilities for content we control. If someone posts false, misleading, or inappropriate content on a page or platform that you manage, you should review it promptly and remove or clarify it when appropriate. Likewise, if comments become discriminatory or harassing, allowing them to remain on a page you control can create unnecessary ethical concerns. Your online reputation is part of your professional reputation. Real-world broker scenario. A buyer asks, "Is there a church close by? We'd like to walk there on Sundays." A fair housing compliant response would be, "Absolutely. I can show you where nearby churches and other places of worship are located using public maps and community resources." Now suppose the buyer follows up with, "Do many people from that religion live in this neighborhood?" At that point, the conversation involves a protected class. A professional response would be, "Fair housing laws don't allow me to discuss neighborhoods based on the religion or other protected characteristics of the people who live there. but I'd be happy to help you locate community resources or provide objective information about the area. Individuals recovering from addiction, fair housing protections also extend to many individuals with disabilities. Federal courts have recognized that individuals recovering from alcohol addiction or recovering from drug addiction may qualify as persons with disabilities under the Fair Housing Act, provided they are not currently engaged in the illegal use of controlled substances. For example, an HOA cannot simply refuse housing because a residence will be occupied by individuals recovering from alcohol addiction if doing so would violate fair housing protections. Courts have recognized that recovering individuals may be protected under the Fair Housing Act, and housing providers should proceed carefully before denying housing based on disability-related concerns. Whenever disability accommodations or fair housing issues arise, brokers and HOAs should seek competent legal counsel before taking action. Why this matters: fair housing isn't limited to showing homes or writing contracts. It applies to every interaction you have with consumers, your conversations, your advertising, your social media, your professional judgment. The most successful Arizona real estate professionals understand that treating every consumer with dignity, respect, and professionalism is not only the law, it's one of the best ways to build a successful business. Broker tip: if a conversation begins moving toward race, religion, disability, national origin, or another protected class, politely redirect it back to the property or the transaction. Most buyers appreciate professionalism, and those simple moments can prevent significant fair housing issues. Online discussion question: why is it appropriate to answer questions about the location of a church or other place of worship, but not discuss the religion of the people living nearby? Answer: providing factual information about the location of community facilities is appropriate. Discussing the religious makeup of a neighborhood involves protected classes and could create fair housing concerns. Why should realtors be careful about sharing jokes or memes on social media? Answer: shared content may be interpreted as endorsing discriminatory viewpoints, potentially damaging a licensee's professional reputation and creating ethical concerns. Question: why should a real estate professional maintain professional boundaries even after developing a friendly relationship with a client? Answer: clients may become comfortable discussing sensitive topics, but licensees remain professionals throughout the transaction. Maintaining professional boundaries helps avoid misunderstandings and reduces fair housing risk.